DTZ Entertainment Presents Coffee Bar Stories, a talk show adjacent comedy podcast with your three hosts, Dad, Son, and Bubba. Coffee Bar Stories is sometimes a graphic podcast. The stories, comedy, skits, and any other content on the podcast may contain drugs, cartoon-styled violence, crimes, and negligible actions. All names and locations of the stories are changed to protect the individuals unless otherwise stated. Listeners' discretion is advised. Live from the Coffee Bar, it's your DTZ News. I'm your host, Son, and I'm here with our co-host, Dad, for another episode of Coffee Bar Stories. And in today's news, we have a few bullets to go over. We have Bubba's Corner, which will be pre-recorded for today. We have how we're going to be going over our new way of doing our guest interviews. I'm going to give the answer to last episode's game, and then Dad's going to go over what our DTZ Entertainment's other podcast has with its new episode coming out and the episode that just came out. So with the first section, we're going to go over basically Bubba's Corner. It was called Bubba's Reviews. We had said in the first segment. This episode is going to be pre-recorded, and it's for work schedules. They conflicted, and we weren't able to get it recorded live today.
Yeah, so we'll get that pre-recorded. We'll bring it on, and it is going to go from Bubba's Reviews to Bubba's Corner.
We think it's a better name to go by.
Yeah, it'd be easier for him to farther around with it.
And we also, we're going to change up how we did like our guest interviews, because in season 1, we brought on a guest, one of our friends, and then we'd like interview them for a little bit and then have them tell us 3 stories that they had. And now we're more so going to change it up to be our guests are basically going to be a co-host with us. They'll be in all of our little segments interacting with all of us. And if they have any stories, they can bring them up and whatnot. We don't mind. But for the most part, it's we're going to try to bring them more into this new format that we're doing for this season.
Yeah, we'll bring it more like a quick catch-up with them if they've been on before. So you may know who they are from first season if they get to come back. And then we'll just move into, they kind of go for the ride with us on the show, how we, the games and whatnot we play. And we got a little bit more stuff involved coming up too.
And then our third point is the game that we played last episode, the real or fake commercials. And we gave you 2 different commercials to pick from. One was the Sonic ad, and then the second one was Steve's Love That Smell Porta Potties. And the answer to that game is Steve's Love That Smell Porta Potties is the fake commercial.
Congratulations to anybody that picked it out there. It was kind of a hard one for me, but
believe it or not, that Sega ad was real. It's a little weird, but that was actually the real ad.
Yeah, it was a strange ad. I'll give it that. You can see they were trying to hit a very young teenage market, just starting to get into the hormone era.
Yeah. And then our last bullet point, I'll switch it over to Dad, and he'll explain all what DTZ Entertainment's second podcast has going for it.
That's the podcast that I have that's Stories That Are Made Up. I had just last week released episode 5, part 3 of The Rise to Godfather. That was The Power. Next week we'll be releasing the 6th episode, and that has part 4 to it. Should be the conclusion of The Reckoning, and hopefully that story comes out. It's the conclusion completed and stuff, and hopefully I can move on to the next tale of different stories.
We would like to clarify that Bubba's Corner is not a pre-recorded segment, that it's only being pre-recorded today. Alrighty, and that will conclude our DTZ news.
Oh, time for 2 dad jokes. I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down.
Boo!
How do you make a Kleenex dance? Put a little boogie in it. Topics of discussion.
Topics of discussion. So this is just going to be a segment where we just kind of pick something and talk about it, basically. Kind of give our point of views on things, or not more so like advice, but more just, I don't know, just talk about things.
Yeah, it's going to be a good segment for us to use it on a guest host that comes on when we bring somebody on and stuff too, to let them catch up with us or introduce new things. And there'll be a couple times maybe we can use this segment to abuse them a little. I think it'll be fun. But this time around, me and Son are just going to do a little discussion about marijuana.
It seems to be our favorite topic, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I come down. Every vice I like kind of goes away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess marijuana kind of. Plus, we all do it in the house, so that's kind of. Makes it a lot easier when everybody.
Oh, definitely.
And it's not like alcohol where we're a bunch of drunks and it's fist fights and windows broke and people and the cops showing up because none of us fight. We're too tired and lazy doing too much.
Lazy, tired, and stoned.
Well, you can tell by the podcast, we just got way too much in our lives going on to be drinkers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, alcohol's not a big thing in our house whatsoever.
Uh-uh.
But on getting down to our story here of our discussion, we're going to have street versus dispensary. So we're not taking sides or on anything, not one versus the other as far as me and Son.
We're just going to take a deep dive, pick our brains about what we think about them and whatnot.
Yeah, because like for me, dispensary, it's got good aptitudes to it and stuff for, like, if you're looking for specialty type of stuff, if you want to know what it does and what it's for, the dispensary's got you covered. But if you're looking for
quantity,
you're the buzz head and all you're looking for is that stone and stuff, then 90% of the time, money-wise, your street's the way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the state that we all live in, they hit you kind of hard on price by, it's not really the cost by the unit as much as it's the taxation that they have put in place, which you get in, I believe it's like three cities, city, county, and state.
Yeah, it's
all three of
those, and it comes out to like 60% tax or something like that.
Like,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because I'm not sure from our state. Not every state I imagine would be like that. Ours likes to tax a lot anyhow, but
I've been wanting to like go to dispensaries in other states, but I mean it's the travel, but also like I wonder, are they all the same on the inside and whatnot?
Oh, you're talking about the core?
Yeah,
that's a thing too. It like ours is kind of retro, or not retro. I'm sorry, kind of
new school more so. Actually,
yeah, it's streamlined. I guess it's.
Oh, definitely. That's exactly the word I'd go for.
Out.
It's in out.
There's not a lot of fluff of middle aisling or anything. They just have like two displays, I believe, put up that you zigzag through.
Yeah, like 4 of them or something.
To create space, and then there you go to numerous people standing at the counters.
It's like going to the bank almost.
Yes, exactly. The bank.
You're basically waiting in line, except the bank doesn't, offer you trays and little nectar collectors or fucking bongs.
Yeah, they're not trying to make that extra dime on the grocery, or not the grocery store, the like Walmart tip where they got stuff in the aisle.
Nah, they ain't getting the bang for their buck there, it seems. They don't want to promote in the weed industry. That's another big problem with it, is
all the regulations.
Banks. Yeah, the banks don't want to touch them, but I don't know much about that or why it does, or why it's that way.
From what I understood is because where they labeled it at on the federal level, the banks, because they are federally backed, I guess. Federally insured, that's what it is, I think. And I don't think they're allowed to do it. It'd be like them banking a known cartel drug dealer.
Oh,
I think it's the way it would be considered, is my guess. I mean a known
because
one.
It's still technically considered federally illegal drug.
Gains. Yeah.
So I can see why. Okay,
it's silly.
That makes more sense.
And with who's the administration and everything, you might, if they just take it off the first level, might be all right, because they're known for wanting to legalize pot like that.
Yeah.
And harder some, but just who's sitting in there now though that administration is the type that will allow it off if they just allow it off the stage 1 level, then banks could deal with them, and then it would be reassessed, which it should just be completely taken off. It's over half of the states are already on board.
Yeah,
if it's not fully legalized for rec, it's at
medical.
least
It's
a medical
definitely
level over half.
That's another another thing, especially with us with the dispensaries and medical, and where we live is, well, I personally, and I guess this is going to bring it into the street form, I personally don't see the benefit of getting the card and all that, because it's so damn expensive. And it's something about, I probably didn't, I skimmed through it, but there's a few fees that go on top of owning it and all that.
See, that's what I was wondering, because somebody was saying something about it's like a membership fee.
Yeah, basically.
And stuff, and you have to keep to maintain it.
You got to pay it like every year or something like that. You pay some amount or something, and I'm not
it's
okay.
It's not cheap from what I understand.
I think I read that it was like 300 something.
Holy moly!
And that was to buy, but I think that was to purchase the card, and then with the qualifying prescription.
Basically, anymore, since a lot of states with the rec legalization with it, a lot of states, doctors have gotten a point where they're making they have the ability to give you that card, and stuff.
They can prescribe it to you.
They just basically, these guys end up, you give me X amount, I give you that card. It's basically buy a card anymore. It doesn't matter whether you really need it for a medical purpose or not. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Your neck hurts you? Okay, here you go. You know what I mean? Here, give me $300-400 whatever dollars, and then you got the card. And what does that give you? A chance not to, at the dispensary you pay what? Less tax. I believe.
I don't think you pay like,
cut somebody's tax out.
It like halves one tax and like cuts one of the other ones out or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not
positive, it's a discount, but
it is a discount, but
it's not worth it, especially with how little we've gone to the dispensary, and especially every time we went, it wasn't for us.
Well, yeah, the person we go for is specialized. They get really. Now, they are, if it wasn't rec here, they would be legit medical. I mean, who we go, they get it for, it would be completely legit medical, and what they get it for is medical. They find, that's the big thing about dispensary. I like, you find things. There's pot that got motivation factors and creativity to it.
Yeah.
There's pot that does muscle relaxing or anxiety bringing down, which is funny seeing it. The stereotype into pot has always been the anxiety when you see the goofball pot movies, freaking out. But that's usually when it's on I'm getting stoned type weed.
Yeah.
They morphed this in through the dispensaries into where they can literally make it to the point to where they can tell you what it will and will not do for you.
Yeah.
They've made it a specialty thing, and I think that is outstanding to do.
It's, because you're not going to get that specialty weed from either Chad or DeMarcus down the street.
No. Well, now, but on the other hand, though, I'm also going to get for a quarter of what I'm giving to the dispensary.
Oh, definitely.
I'm getting 3 times the amount.
To put in perspective,
and it's usually stuff to make my eyeballs raise and my eye twitch.
Yeah, it's
not bad stuff.
Here where we live, the for medical, for about a gram, it's like $20. And then add tax on top of all that. So you're paying like what, $28, $27?
See, back in the day, and my day back in the day, $20 for a gram, that would have got you, garnered you some really good stuff.
Yeah,
really
I
good.
Agree.
You'd have been pulling off pieces for a pinch hitter.
Oh,
you
definitely.
Would not. If you smoked a bowl with your buddies, you're one generous person, and very nice, and hopefully they return the favor.
Yeah.
$20 grams back then would have knocked your eyeballs off your face and made you have a bald streak going down your back.
Yeah. But I don't care for the dispensaries because of how expensive they are. And for the most part, they never seem to have what I personally would want. It's, if they do, they're sold out. Or it's just nothing they carry. I can, if I really, really wanted to, I can go through one of the dealers that I got, and they would find it for me. Make it a lot easier. Because I've gone through the dispensary a few times trying to just find different types of dabs. I think I was looking for like the diamonds or something like that. And I've looked on the website for the dispensary, went there, and they didn't have them. They said they didn't have them. They had others. They had the sugar wax or the shatter, whatever, but it wasn't the one I wanted, because I don't know what's so special about the diamond wax, but there's something about it. I think it's a little more potent or something like that. But I think I just hit up one of my buddies, and he was like, yeah, give me like 2 hours or something, and I'll let you know. And then I think within like another hour and a half later, he was like, I got it. And he's like, $60 and it's yours. And I think he gave me like 3 grams.
Yeah.
And a gram for dabs is for $20. So, I mean, I didn't overpay for it. But if I did pay at a dispensary, I probably would have paid $180.
Oh yeah, by dispensaries open, they thought they were gonna take away the pot one. It wasn't gonna happen. Now, did they knock the cartels out? Definitely. Nobody wants no dirt weed. They don't want what they're bringing from Mexico any longer. That's not a viable street commodity in many states that gone legal.
Yeah.
So it hurt them there. But what it did for the guys that always bought pot from their local dude just made him get inventive if he was going to keep up what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's ways. There's like, oh man, there's so many ways that people become not connoisseurs, but like gurus at growing stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you figure a lot of these guys, they may be growing what they're allowed to grow legally by the law in the state and everything.
Yeah.
Just that good stuff. They're not going to smoke it all, so they sell some of it off.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the IRS is probably going to be pissed and look for their cut and all that. But, at a point, you got to be, either you're going to work for the people or you're going to end up finding out that people are going to get around it somehow.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We get around it somehow. I'm not going to pay you a bunch of money for you to give me a little bit so I can turn around and be back 20 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not worth it. The amounts I require, you're not going to sell me that I want to pay.
Exactly.
I'm not buying pounds and quarter pounds, nothing like that, ounces and all that crazy stuff like that.
I mean, maybe ounces.
Ounces, okay, I'm sorry, ounce. I was thinking of something else, but not like quarter pounds or anything.
Yeah.
And what you're trying to get out of me, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you don't really give people a choice in many states. That a lot of them are like, well, it's legal, but now they're willing to take the chance to buy it off somebody in the street because it's a lot cheaper and they can get what they need. You know how much they need without going broke. 'Cause not everybody makes $50 an hour.
Yeah. Shoot. I think the biggest problem with the dispensaries is that they don't put them where you think they should be put. It's never in a decent location, or at least where we're at, it seems like that. Unless you're in a major city, you're screwed for the most part.
Oh, they're everywhere. Oh, in a major city?
Yeah.
They're on every corner.
I said unless you're in a major city, you're screwed.
Yeah. If you're rural, there'll be...
You better hope you live close.
Every 25 miles or so, maybe. It depends, and it depends on what city was cool with it. If it's a real conservative, the state may have legalized it, but it doesn't mean that city or that town or that county is wanting to allow it.
Yeah.
They may not, and they may be conservative or religious or whatever behind it. They don't want it.
Yeah,
whatever reason drives them not to want that. So the states force it, and the government's never been good at nothing like that anyway. So with people being able to grow it their own and grow good stuff.
Yeah.
These people are becoming amateur botanists and stuff, and it's not like they're gonna kill you with it. That's the best part. It's not like they're like it's a drug, like a meth or a cocaine or something they're mixing up. No. You know what I'm saying? They can't kill you with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get something and it don't smell right, as far as it's not a pot smell, it's got any chemical whatsoever type hint to it.
Yeah.
Other than gasoline, because the fuckers snuck it in their gas tank, but. That's a joke, but other than maybe an exotic pot smell, if it's got anything other than that, then you don't touch it.
Yeah.
you know, and stuff. And people, the pot world, there's no reason to screw with people with that. I'm not buying
It's too small time.
an ounce of Coke and sprinkling it over buds of marijuana and selling them. What the hell is that? What is that going to do me?
Nothing at all.
You know how much that ounce of Coke's going to cost me? I can only imagine $1,000 or better. I don't know, you know, but it's more than what I want to spend on anything.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just to throw on pot to sell that. I can't sell for what that thing's going to be worth.
Oh, yeah, no.
Street value wise, you know. So, you know, with pot, at least you know the people that you're buying from. Most of the stuff you're getting that's really good, somebody's growing that stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and they know what they're doing. They trial and error. Because hell, we grew a plant, and it turned out pretty good.
I'm still proud of that thing. I miss it. I miss it a lot.
No,
Rest
we
in
didn't
peace,
post.
Morty.
We haven't posted no pictures on Facebook.
I still have them.
You know, I don't think we can.
No, I mean, there are weed pages on Facebook.
I don't know.
They do it all the time.
That's something I'll have to discuss first with Bubba and the others. Make sure
Maybe we'll grow a new one and then record the growth of that plant.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that because the other one, it was pretty big.
It was.
I did top it.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I was surprised on how big it grew. And when we planted it, I wasn't even expecting anything. I didn't even care if it was male or female at this point. I just wanted to see it grow. After it sprouted, I'm like, all right, now I just want to see it grow. And it was 6 or 7 feet tall. It was taller than me.
Yeah, it got up to probably about 7, but I did top it, so it wouldn't. If I didn't top it, it probably would have got about 10 foot.
Oh,
okay. It would have treed. It would have been like a tree. It would have grown up real fast, real high. I tried to bush it out. That's why it did bush out.
Okay.
Down some when I cut it.
Because that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But it was really big, really leafy. We got, I think, 8.5, something like that, ounces out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe 9. I can't remember off the top of my head.
We had 2 pounds and something out of it.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound about right.
No, it was over a pound.
Okay.
Yeah, it was over a pound we had.
Oh, okay. Because I couldn't remember. I think I only counted what I had that was already dried and cured down, or what I was curing. Because I think we still had some in the garage that we were drying.
Yeah, we.
So okay, that does make sense.
Yeah, and all in the end, we had over a pound and something.
I mean, we were smoking on it.
We gave a lot.
We gave a lot away. We were smoking on it though for like almost a year.
Yeah.
So
gave it to.
We didn't have to really buy. I mean, I did, but we didn't really have to buy weed for a while.
No.
And then I ended up stopped buying weed.
Yeah, We didn't spend none on it for about a year. That was a good harvest out of that thing. I was impressed.
I really do want to grow another plant though.
Yeah. I think if we can do this one, I think it would be a lot beneficial if we keep it well groomed and stuff this time and see if we can't maybe even do 2 of them. Just watch how close we put them. And like top one and just let her ride, and then the second one kind of groom it down. You know, try to see if you can't really maybe 5 foot it tall and just like a big ass bush.
I mean, you can stress train it. I know that's a lot of people do that to their plants. Make it grow certain ways and train it with stress. Basically, not enough to like snap the branches, but just enough to when they're malleable enough to train them to grow a certain way.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking like make it a bush where it's just going out, not up and stuff, because then you get more surface
as long as they reach
to grow the buds on.
Yeah, I figure as long as they grow to reach outwards instead of growing upwards more so, it'd be all right. But I still don't know what it takes to be a weed farmer.
Yeah, that's a whole different method there. Okay, well, we're gonna wrap up this segment and head on to the next one, son. Stories That Are Made Up is a podcast hosted by me, Dad, from Coffee Bar Stories. Check out my made-up stories every 2 weeks from DTZ Entertainment.
Rello Radio Show, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. DJ CO1.
And now it's time for Was That a Good Idea? With your host, Dad.
Hello, thank you, son. This story is gun and butt. And exactly as it means, gun and butt, folks. A Louisiana man had been ran down and caught by police for various crimes, it says here. Okay, we'll just start with the man's name. Justin Salvi, 24, pled guilty Friday to weapons charge after police in the town of Gold Meadow, who were arresting him late last year on a separate matter, discovered he had stashed a loaded 25 caliber Titan pistol in his buttocks. The pistol is more than 4 inches long with a 2-inch barrel. He was sentenced to 5 years suspended prison sentence. With that, I don't know if he should have been too suspended for the sentence. But to me, I don't think that was a good idea.
And now it's time for Bubba's Corner.
Hey guys, welcome back. As you may remember, last episode, I am now doing reviews. So, today we're going to take it a little different. I'm going to be reviewing a movie. Spoiler warning, if you have not seen the movie Looper, pause this, go watch it, and come back. I'll start by saying a little bit about it. I'm just going to go right in. The movie Looper takes place in the year 2044. Time travel has not been invented yet, but in 30 years, it will have been. And so, the main character of the movie, his name is Joe, works for a criminal syndicate. It's sort of like the mob. And what his job is he's just an assassin. A group of assassins called Loopers. What they do is they go to a certain place at a certain time. A dude will just, or a target, an assassination target, will just pop up and appear, and they take their blunderbuss and boom, kill him. End the job. And then on the back of each victim or target is like a few bars of gold wrapped in, or silver wrapped in plastic or something on the back of the target,
Like payment?
Yeah, and it's payment for the job.
Okay.
Now, the reason they do this is because in the future, it's incredibly hard to get rid of bodies.
What is it? The morgues are all filled up? No more plots to bury them or something?
They don't really get into that point.
Oh, okay.
They just say that.
It's just they have problems, so it's better off to just off them in a different time and take care of it then instead of having to do it in the future?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the body just never exists.
Okay. That makes sense.
The body gets killed in the past. That's it?
Yeah, just ceases to be from whatever means.
No more future person. So that's what that is. That's what the Looper... I'm just going to call it the Looper Agency. I don't really know what the fuck it is. It's honestly just a giant criminal syndicate. A thing happens in the movie where the Loopers end up doing something called closing their loop. Time travel is so fucking illegal that when the criminal organization terminates the contract with the Looper, they hunt down that Looper in the future and send them back in time to them in the past to kill them off.
So basically take care of themselves and close off any ties.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And they call it closing your loop. When that happens, the Looper gets an enormous payday. Gets like bars of gold instead of silver. Yeah. And then they're released from duty. They get to live the rest of their 30 years they have left to live.
Now my question is, so they don't, if they're sending them back to kill themselves, basically, is it the people in the future from when time travel is made, so 2074, I guess, they're sending them from that time?
Yes.
All the way back to
2044.
Okay, so it's not killing the person in the past like they were sending the Loopers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just ending them right there in 2074. They will live for 30 more years.
And then die.
And they can do whatever the hell they want because they have a shit ton of gold. Or a shit ton of money from all the silver bars and gold.
Okie dokie.
Well, the main character, he saves all of his silver. He saves a butt ton of it. It shows you in the movie. He's like, starts stacking it. Well, all of a sudden, it's like 4 loops that were closed in a month, which the movie makes seem like is a big deal.
Okay.
A little bit further down, the main character's friend, Joe's friend, shows up in his window in the middle of the night one night and is freaking out. He says, I let my loop escape. I let him run.
Oh.
which is not a good thing because now there's two of the same person existent in the same point in time.
Oh, yeah. No, that's bad. That's a paradox.
Yeah, he hides his friend under a thing because the people show up. I don't know how they find out, but they do.
I mean, we'll assume some future type of tracking stuff.
And he shows up. Joe hides his friend, and the people that run the loopers. It's just a gang. The rest of the gang shows up and is looking for the dude. Well, he hides him in his like floor safe, and then puts his rug over it. And then another character, Kid Blue, I think he's the son of the leader of the gang.
Okay.
Says, "Okay, I don't see anybody here. You're coming with me." He takes him back to his dad. Turns out that Joe was pretty much raised by the leader of the gang.
Mm-hmm.
And became a looper. Instead of just killing him, he gives Joe a choice and says, "Okay, you can either give me half of all the silver you've made, or you can tell me where your friend is hiding." He gives up his friend because that's all of his life's work right there.
Yeah.
Right? And he can't just lie to the man who raised him. So he does that, and then it shows the grisly shit that happens when you don't close your loop.
Okay.
The future dude starts like losing his mind or something. The other one, they take him to a doctor. They start like surgically removing his limbs and shit, and you can see the future him just start to fall apart, and his parts of him just crumble.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's pretty brutal.
Why didn't they just outright kill him?
I don't know. I don't understand either. That would have worked.
Basically,
Honestly.
they wanted to send a message, I guess. This is what
Yeah.
happens when you fuck up and don't close your loop.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, next up on the list, main character. He first has a dream about him killing himself in
Yeah.
the future, and what happens is the future him kicks his ass.
Oh, shit.
Well, he wakes up, turns out it was a nightmare, and then goes to his next target, and his next target is him.
So, like some fucking deja vu, predicting the future type of shit.
Yeah, but he kills the target.
Mm-hmm.
Takes off the mask and sees that it's him, and he's like, shit. Gets his gold, lives his life. He moves to China, falls in love with this beautiful woman, and they're getting ready to have a kid. Turns out, just wasted a shit ton of time. It's 30 years later. They kidnap gang.
Uh-huh.
The big crime syndicate that's running the whole thing.
Yeah.
They show up, kidnap him. One of them kills his wife
Oh, fuck.
and his kid because she made a noise or whatever. So the dude like flipped, shot her. It was tragic. So he becomes like really pissed off that this happened. They take him to the time machine and they're getting ready to throw him in. He pulls some kung fu shit and beats their asses. Grabs the gold pack, holds it in front of him to his chest, goes into the time machine, and gets sent back. Now I'm gonna stop right there and talk a little bit about what's going on at this point in time in the movie. Turns out that there's a big bad in the future. His name's the Rainmaker, and he's closing everybody's loop.
Okay. Like, he's done with all of them. He doesn't want them to exist anymore?
No, he's just a really horrible person.
Oh, okay. Just doing it for fun, basically.
Somehow, I might have missed it. I maybe wouldn't have been paying attention at the time. Pretty long movie. He nabs the information he needs to know about the Rainmaker before getting in the teleporter and getting sent to the past. And his plan is to find the Rainmaker and kill him. So that way, in the future, all of the people's loops
Just stay open.
yeah, and I don't know why. They don't really make it apparent as to why. It's just fuel for the fire. And so he goes back in time. Past him goes to shoot him, but he's holding that gold in front of him.
Yeah.
Blocks the blunderbuss shot, knocks him the fuck out, and hightails it.
Oh, shit.
On this occasion, he didn't let his loop run. His loop was just smart and beat his ass so he can go and find the Rainmaker to kill the Rainmaker. In 2044, the Rainmaker will have been a child.
Okay.
So he's looking for a kid to kill.
Oh, shit.
And eventually he explains this to himself, and he's just like, whatever. Big chase happens, big fight happens, and Joe ends up looking for himself because he knows he's going to go to 3 houses, because one of 3 houses has that kid that will become the Rainmaker. Well, Joe ends up at a farm. Some lady threatens him, and he ends up working for her, watching the land while he's hiding there from his gang. And a bunch of shit happens. I'm gonna cut to the chase. Towards the end of the movie, it turns out that Joe, the young Joe, found the kid, and it turns out he's this kid living on this farm, and past him finally finds that out after killing the gang from the past and Abe, the leader.
Oh, shit.
And then he hunts down the kid and finally finds him. The kid is telekinetic. There's telekinetics in the show. They kind of serve no purpose except
To be fuel for plot.
yeah, and that the kid is telekinetic.
Okay.
And he's really powerful with his telekinesis because they make it a point that pretty much everybody who has telekinesis just uses it to levitate quarters and show off to women.
Yeah.
So this kid's a really powerful telekinetic. Can kill people by just using his mind. He's done it, and Joe finally finds him. It's the end of the movie. He sees future him chasing this girl who he ends up falling in love with, and then he wants to take care of that kid because he's like, he doesn't have to turn evil. He doesn't have to be a bad person.
Yeah.
And then all of it, like a clockwork, it just fits into place right at the ending. And he's like, and that's when I seen it. I watched the path being laid before this child because of what he was getting ready to do. So he goes, I had to end it. He turns the blunderbuss around because he couldn't get to the future self, his future self, before he would kill the chick that he loved. Turns that blunderbuss around, shoots himself in the chest.
Holy shit. He was the reason the kid turned out evil.
Yes.
The whole reason the kid hated the loopers was because of a looper, and that's the whole reason he came up with closing people's loops.
The kid liked past Joe.
Well, yeah, but he didn't know that was future Joe.
No, not at all. But
I'm pretty sure they looked completely different.
Future him would have been the reason why the Rainmaker became a person. So he just stops it all from happening and kills himself.
That's a twist. Holy fuck. That's the damned if you do and the damned if you don't.
Yeah, and that just shows, like, I guess that it fits the perfect metaphor of what goes around comes around.
Yeah, and to go with me always throwing some type of video game reference somewhere, I won't even spoil it though. Basically, it's another BioShock mindfuck ending. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's a pretty slow burn, and the movie was pretty excellent. There was a lot of useless shit thrown in.
Do you feel like they did it just to pad runtime?
Yeah.
Not necessarily
Very
a bad
action
thing.
filled. I think the main character was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then the other, was it Die Hard?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis was future him.
I don't know why I kept thinking that Bruce Willis was him to begin with. I already knew. I think I've seen, we talked about it, I've seen the scene where he basically sees that it's him that he has to kill in the jump sequence or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I just knew it was a bald guy and kind of forgot it was Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's fucking, the movie, it's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, it's got Bruce Willis. I don't know all of the actors. I'm not that well versed with movie stuff like that. I'm not a cinemaphile, but that was a good movie.
I mean, my ass was gripping the chair, bro, when you were telling me the ending. I mean, I had to slow my brain down. I'm like, don't jump to conclusions. You already know the answer. Just shut the fuck up and listen. Let him tell it, because, no, you blew my mind with this ending, and now I'm going to have to watch the movie.
Yes, I hardly spoiled much, except for, how it goes, Crash Course.
Yeah.
But watching it in its fullest, it's a really good movie. It's got a decent message. Don't judge someone based off of their actions. Something could be going on. So it's a good movie, and I give it a 5 out of 10.
It's a decent score. I don't know many movies that do the whole time travel paradox thing right, but the way you were saying it is, I mean, I'm sure they took a lot of civil liberties with it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're like, yeah, this is what will happen to you if you create a paradox, and that's dope as fuck.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I think it's a little weird that someone would sign themselves up for something they can get,
killed in.
They have to kill themselves to do.
Yeah,
quite literally.
Talk about having a job where you're setting your own life expectancy.
Oh, you get to see yourself in here pretty soon. Then you can enjoy the last remaining 30 years you have left to live, because you will kill yourself.
And just to clarify one thing, so when they go to kill themselves, it's the one from 2044 killing the one from 2074.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I was confused, because I kind of thought at first it was the one from 2074 killing 2044, and then I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. They would just erase themselves.
Aside from Joe's thing, what normally happens is the person shows up with a bag around their head, arms tied behind their back, and they're just kneeling there, and they have to shoot immediately.
They got, like, what, 2 bodyguards there to make sure you do the job?
No.
Or just a bodyguard?
I mean, Joe doesn't. They don't show anybody else how they do their looping or how they do their assassinations, but Joe just stands there, looks at his watch, counts down until the time happens, picks his gun up, and then boom, and the dude appears immediately and drops, and then he takes care of the body, and that's how it works.
Okay, because, yeah, I was just a little confused on all of that. Well, originally, what I thought, it didn't make sense either way what I thought, because at first it was like, 2074 Joe is killing 2044 Joe. It makes no sense. 2074 ceases to exist.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's 2074 killing younger Joe from the past. Nope, still doesn't make sense. Wouldn't exist. And now, okay, it's either the past Joe or 44 Joe killing 74, which makes sense. But now, okay, no, you explained that. They waited for him to do his whole family life and all that, and then kidnapped him.
Yeah.
Why didn't that happen in the first loop?
What do you mean?
Like, that, the way with time travel, basically, it's the one way you gotta take civil liberties and all that shit, I guess. But if you change the course of the future, all those previous loops...
Why didn't it happen when it showed from...
Him killing himself the first time and being like, well, fuck.
I don't know, it just shows him cashing in his gold,
Mm-hmm.
and then partying his life away before finally deciding to move. And he was gonna go to France, but Abe told him to go to China, so he goes to China instead.
So Abe already had it all set up. He knew where he was like, all right, I'm gonna send him this place. So that way when his time's up, I know exactly where to.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna go to France, and Abe's like, no, go to China. He's like, going to France, and he's like, I'm from the future. You should go to China.
That's when you go to France. That's when you say, all right, I'm going to China, and then you hop onto the plane to France. You're like, all right, sayonara, fuckwads.
But no, in the end, he does end up going to China.
It's sad he doesn't get a happy ending, but...
Yeah, I thought at the way that the movie starts to, like, bring you up is he's falling for this farm girl.
Mm-hmm.
He likes this kid.
He's going to change the kid's life and make him a better person.
Yeah,
but
until that end part hits. And you're like, what? There wasn't another way.
It's the whole damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, do you think the ending would have stuck with you if it just ended with, and
No.
then the kid changed his life?
No.
Yes.
It was good because he made
He made the ultimate decision.
the ultimate decision, which
Yeah.
was, fuck me, I'm saving this family.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, my thing is, the Rainmaker would not exist if he would have just killed himself in the past.
Yeah.
Which means, why does he exist in 2074? So if he didn't go back yet?
Because
When-
time hasn't had a chance to...
That's one thing they can never do right in movies or even like anything, because it's hard to conceptualize something like that.
Doctor Who does it pretty accurately.
Yeah. From my understanding, my brain's gonna shut down and malfunction in a second just from trying to explain it. But like, if you fuck with something, if you go from the future to the past and fuck something in the past, all of a sudden that thing has always happened.
Butterfly
now.
effect.
Yeah, it's just always gonna happen, no
one
matter
small
what.
thing, and if you can go back in time and change something, it could have monumental effects in the future.
Mm-hmm. And even just the assumption of the iota of just doing it and having the means to go back into the past, that automatically means it already happened. There's no reason to go back to the past because it's now happened.
Yeah.
So most movies' plots would just end right there. So I guess that's why they don't show it off, but it's still when you're trying to like understand it and everything, like trying to get a deeper meaning into it to understand the movie, that your brain's like, yeah, no, we're not smart enough for this, man. Go pick up a quantum entanglement book, see if you understand that.
Yeah, it has very much to do with the butterfly effect, but more like in reverse.
Well, the movie, from the rating you gave it and everything, I think it sounds dope as hell. I'm definitely gonna have to watch it because
Yeah, it's good. It's worth the watch. I can't say for certain how long it is.
around 2 hours maybe.
I want to think about 2.5, maybe 2 hours. Exceedingly long, but it's long enough to give you a good action flick, you know?
Yeah, just long enough to help capture your attention and keep it there.
Yeah.
But not too long to be like, it's still on.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of action movies are. Some of them are really bad, but this one, it was done really well. I would credit the, people who made it and whatnot, but I don't know who made it.
Is there anything else you want to add about that?
Nope.
Alrighty. That's been Bubba's Corner. Thank you for your review. That'll be all.
You have a good one.
It's Billy's List.
Here on Billy's List, we have some of the most average and below average contractors and handymen. Their work's subpar, but the pricing is great, and they may not be on time or finish their job, but their prices are great. So when you can't afford Angie's List, head over to the non-reliable but affordable Billy's List. Here's a couple of customer testimonials.
Hi, my name is Dale James Doe, and I have a roofing problem. Well, if you call not having a roof a problem. So, I clicked onto the internet and headed to Billy's List. After 46 months and 407 no-shows, I finally had 1/3 of a roof, and it was affordable. Thank you, Billy's List!
Hi, I'm Ed. I had a leaky pipe problem and I didn't have very much money. So I went to the website Billy's List and I got the plumber I could afford. Sure, the pipe was duct taped with a bucket put under it. Now it doesn't leak as much, but the price was great. Thank you, Billy's List.
My name is Earl Sanchez, and I had a problem with my air conditioning, so I called Billy's List, and now there's only a faint odor of decaying flesh. But my air conditioning now works. Thank you, Billy's List.
Head over to Billy's List. They might get it done, but the price will be great. And now it's time for everyone's favorite game show, Real or Fake Commercials, with your host, Son.
Welcome back to Real or Fake Commercials, where you get to guess which one's the real one and which one's the fake one. As always, we have 2 different commercials for you, and we'll play them for you right now. Dr. Ted is no stranger to outdoors camping, and when you go on an outdoor expedition, sometimes you can end up with a nasty rash. Poison oak, poison ivy, and even poison sumac. So he comes up with his trusty dimethyltryptamine pills, and the rash goes away instantly. Other solutions would leave you oily and sticky, but not Dr. Ted's pills. They'll cure whatever rash you have quickly and leave you nice and dry. Dr. Ted's dimethyltryptamine pills may not be right for everyone. Women who are pregnant or nursing should not use it, but if you're only planning on becoming pregnant, you're very encouraged to try it. Side effects may include dizziness, nausea, vomiting, bloating, ashy skin, uncontrollable Tourette's, bone deterioration, explosive diarrhea, light brain seizures, prostate cramps, loss of sex drive, suicidal thoughts, numbing of the left side, leprosy, impotency, liver failure, some odd hair loss. Some odd hair growth also has a chance of causing a rash. Do not plan on driving a motor vehicle for at least 72 hours after taking the pills. If you experience sun and blindness, please consult your physician. Dr. Ted's dimethyltryptamine pills will cure that rash quickly and oil-free. Alrighty, that was the first commercial. Now here's the second one. Are you inflicted with gum disease, toothache, sensitive teeth, or other oral issues? Wish the problems would go away? Well then, we have a solution for you. Lloyd Manufacturing Co. presents Cocaine Toothache Drops. Other oral drops leave you with a horrid aftertaste and don't tackle the root of the problem. But these cocaine toothache drops get to the root of your problem instantaneously, and it's only 15 cents. That's 10 cents less than competing brands. Try out Cocaine Toothache Drops today. Alrighty, those were your 2 commercials. It's up to you now to figure out which one was real and which one's fake. We'll have the answer for you in next episode, so hopefully you got it right.
Thank you, folks, for listening to episode 2. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did making it. Now, I hope you come back for episode 3.